What's happening, people? It's your girl Minna. I know I feel like I've abandoned the channel because I haven't done a stream in about 3 or 4 days, but big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. Let me know how you lot are doing, guys. How you lot feeling after the Wolves game on Sunday? Do you care about the Premier League results? I kind of do, but I don't. And I know that kind of sounds stupid, but I do and I don't. But let me know what you lot thought about the game. I didn't do a video after the game because I'm not gonna lie, guys. I was exhausted, man. I was exhausted. I had a family wedding on Saturday and then I was just tired. So I watched the game and I just couldn't be asked to do a video. But I should have done a stream yesterday, but then I went to Baller League. It's been a busy week, guys. And it's going to be an even busier week. I got to shoot with Sky Sports. We have an award show on Thursday. We got a lot to happen. We got a lot to happen this week. So big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I didn't even know, guys, about the Cunha news. I did not know about it until late last night at like 4 a.m. I was scrolling Twitter and I just saw everyone talking about Cunha. So I was like, well, what the hell is going on? And then I just like clicked on one of the aggregator accounts and checked what they were saying, and obviously linking news from Fabrizio Romano. And I was like, what is going on? But I saw a little clip after the first half against Wolves. And you see Cunha walking through the tunnel and Amorim's just grabbing him like this. I didn't want to think too much into it. I didn't want to think too much into it. But now I am thinking maybe that was the start of something new. Word to High School Musical. But guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Chalaboy says, checked out the PL. All eyes on Europa now. It will be a disaster. I'm not kidding, guys. It will be a disaster if Man United crash out of Europa. I just seen news as well that suggests that regardless of the outcome for Spurs in Europa League, Ange Postecoglou will be leaving. I don't think that will be the case for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim, but I'm not gonna lie. Every time I'm seeing Man United fans and they're saying to me, "Yo, Minna, what do you like? Are you sold on Amorim?" Every time, everyone's just like, "I don't know. Just give him time. Just give him time. Let him get the signings in." That's literally the conversations that are just happening. But I don't think people are actually realizing how dire the situation is with Ruben Amorim to only win 6 in 20-something Premier League games. And also, I know it's all about mathematics and if, buts and maybes, but Manchester United genuinely could finish 17th. It's not even a joke at this point. I remember back in January, I said on a stream, I think it was on United View, I said I will be shocked if United hit 40 points. Like 45, I would be shocked at 45 because I just genuinely did not see it happening. But sometimes, excuse me, I should just shut up because I feel like I'm speaking it into reality. Big up, why fans concerned about the attitude? We're going to get to that. We're going to talk about Cunha. We're going to talk about Cunha. We're going to talk about Victor Osimhen. We're going to talk about Rasmus Højlund. We're going to talk about Ryan Cherki. That's another name that's popping up. We're going to talk about Mbeumo as well because I've seen people talking about the idea of Mbeumo versus, Man United signing potentially Cunha in comparison to Mbeumo. I think whoever gets Mbeumo, they're getting a steal. I feel like Cunha has a bit more PR around him, but Mbeumo, yeah, whoever signs him is signing a great player. Henna looking lovely, Minna. Thank you, guys. Look at my henna, guys. I got something simple. I never get henna done. It's not really my kind of thing. But when it's an immediate family relative, I have to get it done. So I had to get it done. I got it done on Friday night for Saturday, and now I'm just hoping it comes off in time. I'll be on Sky with henna tomorrow, so that's going to be funny. Hopefully people don't think it's a tattoo. But yeah, we're going to get into all of that. Like I said, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. Shout out to everyone because we hit 13K, guys. I've been inconsistent for the last week and we hit 13K. And it's mental because I was stuck on 12.5K for a whole week and suddenly I just gained 500 subscribers off the back of all the reaction videos that I was doing during the games. If you lot want a watch along on Saturday for Copa del Rey, let me know right now because I will cancel all my I have no plans on Saturday, but I will cancel my plans, and for once this season I promise I will do a watch along if you lot want it for the Copa del Rey, Barcelona versus Real Madrid. Either way, I'm gonna do a reaction video for that. So let me know. But let's start with the first news, which I saw, and I'm like, we're gonna talk about it. It is an Italian media source suggesting that Inter are considering approaching for Matthias de Ligt. The idea is a potential loan deal with an option to buy. Now, I don't know how likely Man United will let a centre-back leave after 12 months or so, or less than 12 months, especially on loan. It's not like Ligt is not playing, and it's not like he's not a part of the team. So that is a transfer or a potential transfer that I just look at a bit sideways. But one thing I will say, guys, is prepared to be sick and tired of just the most randomest transfers. Like, I'm gonna report on it, I'm gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna talk about it on the channel here. But I'm always gonna tell you guys, take it with a pinch of salt, because sometimes I feel like people just be talking. I feel like people just be talking just for the sake of it. However, Manchester United, I think the back line is probably not the biggest concern right now. I don't think so. The Ligt story is hot air. Exactly that. That's why I'm not even going to spend too much time on that, because I know you guys probably want to talk about, you know, the biggest news of the last couple of days, which is I genuinely can't believe it, guys. I am genuinely shocked. Maybe I didn't expect Manchester United to move imminently before the season even ends. Maybe that's what I'm kind of shocked about. But Fabrizio Romano reporting yesterday, bang on 7 p.m. UK time, Manchester United are leading the race to sign Matheus Cunha from Wolves as negotiations are ongoing. Personal terms are being discussed. Man United are aware of many more clubs that are keen, and he has a 62.5 million release clause available. There is good feeling around the initial contacts between Cunha and Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano later goes on this morning to say that Matheus Cunha is giving priority to Manchester United. He's keen on joining Man United regardless of if Man United have Champions League football or not, which is obviously the biggest question mark around everything when it comes to signing players. Now, extra information coming out from the Telegraph this morning as well suggests that Manchester United are happy to pay the release clause, but they want to do it in installments, and Wolves could be open to installments in terms of his payments. So 62 million maybe spread across 3 or 4 years. Guys, is this real? Like, I'm saying, is it real? Of course it's real, because it's coming from reliable news sources. But maybe I'm just shocked at Man United's moving quickly. And maybe it's because it's better to get... Man United have to get a few signings in the door, I think, before pre-season starts. Last season, I think we only had Joshua Zirkzee in time for the pre-season, and even then he didn't link up with Manchester United because he had a break from the Euros, because he was with the Netherlands. So Manchester United need to be able to start their pre-season tour with at least 2 or 3 signings, at least. And I don't know how this is the thing, right? Man United fans, we are spoiled, guys. We are spoiled, because I've seen the conversations flying around, people saying 62 million, that's too much money, he's got no sell-on. Like, as fans, we've started looking at signings as financial assets as to what they can do for the club. What happened to the times where we just look at a signing and think, how are they going to improve us? I don't care if you've got a sell-on value or not. If you come to Manchester United for 60 million and we have you for 4 years, 5 years, and you help us win a league, you've paid your dues. I don't care if you have a sell-on value or not. And maybe it's because we've been, I think we've been programmed in recent years to look at young players because of potential, because of sell-on ability. I just want to see good footballers in their peak, in their prime at Manchester United. That's it. That's all I want to see. So the idea of Matheus Cunha being too expensive because he's 62 million, he ticks every box that I have seen Manchester United have problems with. Big up to Riri, been a member for 16 months. I hope you're doing good, sisters. Bless up Minna and the minions. Big up to Riri. But I've seen a stat today. Let me see, a walking percentage or some nonsense like that. About Matheus Cunha. I saw a walking percentage stat that I couldn't believe it. If I can find the picture, I don't think I can find the picture, because I was just scrolling Twitter and here it is. Here it is. I saw a stat from Opta. Longest spent walking. So percentage of time spent walking in the Premier League 2024-25. And you see Matheus Cunha, Virgil van Dijk, Christian Romero. Obviously, a lot of them are defenders, so it makes sense. But Why is that suddenly a stat that we are using as a measurement of whether, like, I saw people saying Man United don't need Cunha because his work rate is not that good. I'm like, what? What? You're saying work rate is not good. So despite the fact that he ticks every despite the fact that he ticks every other box, you think that Manchester United should not sign him because apparently he's got the worst walking percentage stat. A stat, by the way, that I think has just come out of thin air off the back of the fact that now that Man United want him, there has to be stats that paint a player in a negative way to make it seem like Man United are not getting what they probably want. Because number one, Matheus Cunha answers for me the problem that Manchester United have, which is ball carrying. He, despite the fact that he can play across the front line, he can carry and drive with the ball because he's strong. He's physical. He's not getting barged off the ball. Man United have way too many flimsy players that get flung around like a plastic bag on the pitch. So that is for me number one tick. Yeah. Number two, everybody likes to talk about prem proven, but he is prem proven. He is prem proven. Even if he's played for a team in the lower side of the table, we can't even chat because we're in the lower side of the table. But he is prem proven. He can create goals for himself and create goals for other people. He can strike the ball well. He can play across the front line. So if Manchester United, by the way, want to play with a false nine, for example, they could with Matheus Cunha. I don't want them to, and I hope and pray that Man United sign Cunha and Victor Osimhen. Genuinely, if they sign Cunha and Victor Osimhen, Ineos, I might leave you alone for a week. I might leave you alone for 1 week. Yeah? Because to me, the two of them combined answer everything that Manchester United needs in the front line. And like I said, let's stop this notion of we only have to sign young players for sell-on ability, high potential, high ceiling, la-di-da-di-da. Let's sign players approaching their peak or their prime. So at least we get the best of those players in their peak. Big up Samurai says, hey, Min, I hope you're well. I'm good. Thank you. I hope you are doing well too. I've been going back and forth between who I think is better, Cunha or Mbeumo, but right now I'm back on the Cunha train. Man has that X factor. Minute update from Mirror. Let me see that. I think Ridwan also put that in the chat earlier as well. Let me just see for some updates on Cunha stuff. Oh, on Victor Osimhen. Okay, I'm gonna get to the Victor Osimhen stuff. But thank you for flagging that so that I just have that on my radar as well. But yeah, I was on this Delap kind of idea because I thought if Man United could get Cunha or they get Mbeumo, okay, for Delap for 30 million is good business, which it is. But you know what I'm on now? I'm on pay money for the best players. That's what I want. Pay the money for the best players. Big up to Dwayne for the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Says this attitude and work rate is BS to me. Cunha is good. We need someone up there to move the ball. And the fact he's hitting 15 GA for Wolves is a plus. Facts. I think it's funny because people are looking at Cunha and saying, oh, work rate this, blah, 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 that. But then in that same breath, they will praise Liam Delap, for example. I know Liam Delap is younger, but they'll praise Liam Delap for what he's done with Ipswich in his first year. And I'm thinking, Cunha has done this thing on a near enough consistent level with Wolves. Yeah, with Wolves losing, by the way, some very important players. They lost Pedro Neto, they lost Mateus Nunes. They've lost some very important players. That's why I like this Cunha signing. And let's be honest, 60 million for Cunha in this market, and I'm talking about this market of overpaying, oversaturated transfer fees. That's good business because you know what you're getting. I think you know what you're getting for every single penny of what you're paying for. These past couple of games have changed my mindset on the front lineup. Pay the money and get the best you can. Bundle up. If you can get Osimhen, that's literally the vibe I'm on. I like Delap. I've sat here many times and said I like Delap. And before, my thought process was, if we get Cunha, then I'm okay with getting Delap. But now I'm like, why can't we have Cunha and Osimhen? Why? Why is that not a possibility? Why does it have to be one or the other? Why can it not be both? I know everyone's going to talk about finances. People are going to talk about, PSR, etc. But Manchester United should find a way to make it work. They should find a way financially to make it work. And I know that a big part of it depends on Champions League football, because I think Cunha is happy to accept not having Champions League football with Manchester United because he's not had that taste with Wolves, right? Whereas Victor Osimhen is, despite the fact he's playing in Turkey, he's had a decent run in Champions League with Napoli. So what's the likelihood that he'll give up a year of not playing Champions League football? It might not be likely. It might not be. That's why Man United have to win Europa League, because they cannot. I think if Man United win Europa League, it opens up the doors to sign a player like Victor Osimhen. And I genuinely think if United don't win, we will probably end up signing Liam Delap. Chalaboy says that's why we have to win Europa. Yeah, Europa is carrying a lot of weight. I think financially it's like 85 million or something that Manchester United gained just from qualifying for the Champions League, and that financial gain goes a long way when it comes to the transfer situation for Manchester United. It definitely goes a long way, because let's be honest, a lot of the players, and we're going to talk about them, that Man United might be selling in the summer transfer window, we're not going to get big money for them. I keep telling people, lower your expectations. I think the most profitable player we might be able to sell, we won't get direct profit for him, but in the financial year. And this is the thing, guys, as footballers, we're talking about financial year. As football fans, sorry, we're talking about financial year. What? We should just be talking about football. But anyways, in the financial year, it will be a profit. Is Anthony. I don't think United can get a great fee for Rasmus Højlund. I think Anthony and maybe Marcus Rashford, they could get reasonable transfer fees for. Jadon Sancho, we're going to get to that, because reportedly Chelsea have triggered the option to buy, the obligation to buy, but it's no confirmation whether they're going to buy him or not. It makes no sense. It really makes no sense. But if you look at all the players that Man United want to buy and want to sell, you have to realize that Man United are going to have to sell well with at least 2 players. And I think here, Betis needs to run us 40 million. I think United could get 40 million. I genuinely think United could get 40 million. And I'm actually enjoying watching Anthony. I'm not annoyed at the fact that he didn't do this at United, but I'm happy with the fact that, he can go away from Manchester United and perform well. Like, I like seeing players do that, not because I don't want to be a hater, etc. But it's actually refreshing to see, maybe the situation at Man United and the Premier League was just not for you, but you found your foot in something else. Is that a direct reflection of Manchester United and their situation? I'm not too sure. Don't forget Vlahovic. We might be surprised in the summer window. Vlahovic is one target still on our books. Should we not get Osimhen? Keep Vlahovic away from Manchester United. Keep Vlahovic away from Manchester United. Do you guys actually, out of all the strikers on the market, and by the way, guys, I'm happy with Man United moving quick with Cunha. I hope they do the same with, if they want Osimhen or they want Delap, whoever they want. Because there's going to be a lot of teams looking for a striker. Like Arsenal are looking for a striker. I think for them it's going to be Gyökeres, it's going to be or Sesko. Chelsea are going to be looking for a striker. Liverpool are going to be looking for a striker. We're going to be looking for a striker. And that's just, in the Premier League. Depending on how Lewandowski's situation turns out with Barcelona, and if his injury situation is a lot worse than what it is right now, Barcelona could look to sign a striker. I saw Real Madrid want to sign a striker, and they're looking around. Like, strikers are going to be hot commodity this season, this summer transfer window. So Man United have to move fast, because some teams have a lot more to offer than what maybe Manchester United have to offer. Let me see what else you guys are saying before we continue. I want Baleba, Anderson, and Haidara in the mix. I think United will sign a midfielder, but it's just a matter of which one. Baleba, Brighton ain't selling him for less than 100. Like, let's be for real. Brighton will not sell him for less than 100. On the topic of 100, we've got 100 people here and we've got 50 likes. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. You know the rules, man. You come in, you wipe your feet, you say hi to everyone in the chat, and then you hit the like button. So please do, as it helps with the algorithm and pushes the channel out to more and more people. If you want to join the membership club as well, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel. If you want to support the channel in other ways, alternative ways, you can by sending in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts. Get involved in the conversation, or you can send in super chats just to show some love, and that goes a long way, and it helps me keep my electricity on. Let me see what else you guys are saying. How much percentage do you give us to win the Europa League? Well, there's 4 teams left, so we got 25% of a chance. We got 25%, but in terms of, I'm more threatened by Athletic Club than I would be to meet Spurs in the final, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous of me to say that, given the fact of how we've played against Spurs this season. So, but the next round, like, if you lot thought Lyon was a roller coaster of a ride, strap in for Athletic. Strap in, because that's not going to be easy as well. It's not going to be easy. The thought of Diogo Dalot against, what's that guy called? Nico Williams. The thought of it is it's a little bit concerning. I can't lie, it's a little bit concerning. Oh, let me reply to my sister. I hate when I need to put my phone on silent, guys, when I'm on stream, because I get distracted every time I see a notification. Oh yeah, he's done his groin. Yes, you are right. Okay. Man United in 2. I'm joking. Anyone been watching the playoffs, by the way? I know it's so random segue, but has anybody been watching the NBA playoffs? Let me know, because I'm gonna wake up to watch Minnesota versus Lakers again tonight, and they better not let me down. But yeah, we'll talk NBA towards the end of the stream. We'll talk NBA to the end of the stream. Why is everyone so confident beating Spurs? We are everything Spurs like playing against. Weak physically in midfield and not good aerial defenders, and a shit goalkeeper. I shouldn't have sworn. Man, why are you making me swear? It's not that I'm more. I feel like it's easy for United to play against. I know this sounds, the logic is silly, but when Man United come up against teams in, top European leagues like Lyon, like Athletic, I feel like it's a lot more difficult for them to adapt to them, because we watch Spurs regularly, or, I watch La Liga, but not everybody watches La Liga. So when you watch Spurs or the Premier League regularly, you know what you're coming up against with Spurs. It doesn't necessarily mean you will beat them, but your game plan will be a lot more adaptable in game, because you know what to anticipate, you know what to expect, you know Ange Postecoglou, how he's going to play, with the high line, how he's going to line up, etc. Whereas with a team like Athletic Club, I know that they got, people to do their research and all of that, but when you don't watch them regularly and you don't know whether, they're going to turn up in terms of, playing a low block, or you don't know, if they're going to change 30 minutes into the game with a high pressing system, you don't know necessarily what to anticipate. And I feel like that was the same with Lyon. When you watch both games in the Lyon, both games in the tie, the way that Lyon set up in the first 30 minutes of one and the way they were in the first 30 minutes of the other was quite different. Manchester United were by far, I think, the better team in the first half, particularly in the second leg. They were the better team. But with saying that, once they adjusted in game and, they got that moment of anticipation of getting a goal back, it changed the tie on their head. But with saying that, here, no way Spurs are beating us 4 times in a season. You never know. Do you know how many teams have done the double over Man United this season in the league, guys? Wolves have just done the double over us for the first time. I think they said it like the first time since 1980 or 1970 something. All I know is I weren't born then. That's how I know it was a very long time ago. Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, teams have comfortably done the doubles over Manchester United in the league. I'm going to take a photo, vibrate. We can hear it through the mic. Sorry, it's literally right next to the mic. Let me put it on Do Not Disturb. There you go. I'll put it on Do Not Disturb so that it just stops vibrating. Would rather play Maguire as a striker against Bilbao. Don't want to see Rasmus. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Is there a chance Bodo Glimt beating Spurs, you think? You know what? I actually think there is. I actually think there's a chance Bodo Glimt beat Spurs because of how well they're doing this season. I think this is their first Norwegian team to get to a semi-final in God knows how long, maybe in all time in Europe. And it will be a great story because then we can see Ange Postecoglou get sacked. You know what? Football is a humbler, guys. And the reason why I say football is a humbler, Ange Postecoglou at the beginning of the season, what did he say? He said, I win trophies in my second season. He said, I win trophies in my second season. And that is why I want them to go trophyless. I want them to go trophyless this season just because of that comment from him. And also, I don't like him as a manager. I don't like him in press conferences. I think when journalists press him for like with their questions, he gets a bit moody and a bit sulky, and I don't really like that. I wouldn't like that if that was my manager. I don't know how Spurs fans feel about that as well. Imagine we got spun by Bodo Glimt. We beat them already earlier in the league stage. No, we beat them in the league stage. I mean, the fact that we're still unbeaten, that says a lot as well. All right, let's talk. Let's actually talk strikers. Let's talk strikers. Because obviously this guy is the biggest topic of conversation just in literally the last 30 minutes or even less than that. The Mirror reporting that Manchester United are pushing ahead with a deal to sign Victor Osimhen this summer. The price tag is 40 million as of right now. Ruben Amorim has made Osimhen his top target for striker this summer, and he favors Osimhen over Delap. You know what, Ruben Amorim? This is why I can get behind you. If that is true, and your primary target is Victor Osimhen, and you prefer him over Delap, I rate it. Thank you very much, because that should be the case, 100%. Now, Turkish media, I don't know if you guys saw, but Turkish media were reporting yesterday that Manchester United have agreed a general agreement with Victor Osimhen's entourage on personal terms. I think the conversation, guys, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts about this, right? Because a lot of the times when I talk about Victor Osimhen, like with my friends and that, people talk about salary, wages, etc. But I look at it and think, okay, I look at it on one side and think, all right, Man United got PTSD from overpaying in inflated wages, overpaying for players in transfer fees. But if you want to be the best, or you want to create a great team and compete, don't you think if a player is evidently one of the best players on the market in his position, you pay the fees and you pay the wages? Obviously, you don't get your pants pulled down in terms of the fact that you overpay dramatically. You pay a relatively good market value for that player. But I don't know why people look at, Victor Osimhen and they say, oh, his wage demands are too much. Because he's the best striker. He's the best striker on the market right now. If Alexander Isak was available, if Alexander Isak was available and his demands were 250 a week, are you telling me people would be like, oh, it's too much? It's too much, 250 a week. Yeah, that's his wage demands are way too much. If he wanted 300k, would people be like, oh, that's too much, given the fact that Alexander Isak is one of the best strikers in Europe? I don't think people would say that. This guy was just 100 million just 2 seasons ago. You know what I think hurt him? I think what hurt him was that little fallout thing that he had with the Napoli management. I think that's what kind of hurt him. 40 million, do it now. We'll cry about wages 2 seasons from now. For now, we genuinely need a bagsman. Osimhen would have bagged like a brace against Wolves. Rasmus was doing nonsense. Make sure you guys watch on Thursday. Sky Sports will be dropping a video where we're talking about transfers. So make sure you watch it, because I'm going to talk about Victor Osimhen and Manchester United in there. But I agree, bro. You go and pay it. Somebody made a comment in the further up. Please let me know if it was you who said it about him potentially missing 10 games because of AFCON. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this all the time. Just because a player is from Africa and AFCON is held mid-season and you're worried about losing that player for a number of games, that should not deter you from signing that player. It should not. I understand clubs have to think logically about, the situation that they can be in, especially given the fact that next season, AFCON will be during the most congested time of the season, right? It's going to be in December, December to January. It's actually going to be. So if you are a team, for example, in the Bundesliga, you will actually benefit from having players go to AFCON, because Bundesliga get a break in the Christmas time. I think they've got like 2.5 weeks between, you know, Christmas and when they play their next game. Whereas with the Premier League, you lot know, come December time, you know, if you're in Champions League, you got like 3 games in December or 2 games, and you're playing a good 2 games a week in the Premier League because of the congested fixtures in Christmas time. But that shouldn't be on the player. Like, it shouldn't be on the player. Playing for your country is one of the biggest privileges. People were happy for Luke Shaw to put himself at injury risk again and not play for Man United for nearly a whole year just so that he can play for England in the Euros. People were happy to do that. I understand the logic behind it in terms of, you know, missing a player for 9-10 games. But that's where you, as a club, you prepare well enough. Liverpool did it multiple times with Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane. They missed 2 of their biggest players because of that. Nigeria are trash anyways. He'll be back quick. I can't talk too much because my country is not in AFCON, so I can't talk too much on that one. Mina has never played Football Manager. AFCON can shag your season. I have played Football Manager, but also, like, for me, it just, like, I would love an African player to play for Manchester United, number one, but I wouldn't use that as a thing to deter me from signing a player. Victor Osimhen, guys. Look, let's list all the strikers on the market. Yeah, let's list all the strikers that are on the market this summer. Victor Osimhen. Someone in the chat said Vlahovic. Yeah, Gyökeres, Delap, Benjamin Sesko. Yeah. That's just a couple of names that I'm thinking on. I don't know if Porto will be looking to sell Amorim, the young striker that they got, but that's 5 or 6. Jonathan David, there you go, 3. Another striker. That's 5 or 6 strikers that I've just named, right? Who vary in transfer price tag. Ekitike, there you go, another one. That's 7, yeah. You guys tell me, I swear to you, you are lying if you look at that list of players and you say Victor Osimhen is not the best one. Isn't Samuel at Porto? Yeah, he is. But I'm just thinking, because I think he's going to be a name that pops up for other teams. I think Chelsea might look at him. But there is no way you look at Khalid. I saw. I'll check it in a bit. I don't think he's better than Gyökeres. I think it's arguable. I think they're both really good players. The only thing for me, and I know this might be me being a bit, am I being an elitist? But I just think that the risk is less because of the fact that Victor Osimhen, under pressure, delivered Napoli a title. And I know that, you know, Gyökeres has done it at Spain, but I think the gap between Portugal and Italy is completely different. But if we're talking about out and out strikers, I don't think they're that far apart, guys. I don't think. You can have your preference in terms of, you know, you'd prefer Gyökeres. But I also think there's some stuff that Victor Osimhen can do that might be slightly ahead of Gyökeres. And I think there's stuff that Gyökeres does that is actually quite substantially ahead of Victor Osimhen. Like, I think running in behind, or, you know, running the channels and making runs in behind, Gyökeres outnumbers Victor Osimhen for that. I could say that. So there's definitely conversation that could be had about it. But also, I wouldn't be mad if United signed either of them, guys. I genuinely would not be mad if Manchester United signed either of them. I just think the price tag for Gyökeres is gonna be, bro, absurd. Like, Spain are gonna want 100 million at the least. Like, they're gonna want 100 million at the least. Victor has done it in different leagues as well. You have a better sample size than Gyökeres is quality, but we need to see more of him. That's basically my point. Yeah, that's pretty much my point on Gyökeres. Big up to Riri with the super chat, says Mina. So what are we saying? Cunha and Osimhen, here we go. Listen, guys, I will actually lose it if we get a here we go on either of them in the next couple of days and I'm busy and I'm out and I'm somewhere. Please, if we're gonna get a here we go. And by the way, guys, if United, because the Mirror are reporting, what, 40 million for Osimhen, which is what Man United are pushing for. But if you're telling me United could pay about 110 million in total for Osimhen and Gyökeres, not Osimhen, you know, are making me talk about Gyökeres, man. For Osimhen and Delap, is 110 a good level of business? I remember Gyökeres has a gentleman's agreement with Sporting for 58 million. You know what I want to know, guys? Why does everybody... okay, so I don't want to give too much away of what the video that I'm doing with Sky Sports is, but I think Eze has one of the highest release clauses out of all the players that have release clauses in Europe. And I don't even think he's on... Like, he's got a higher release clause than Gyökeres, than Osimhen, than Cunha. And I'm like, bro, you're not even on... I think Eze is a good player, but I don't think he's... I think maybe Palace are overvaluing him, and that might actually block a move for him. Should he be at Palace? No, I don't think he should. But he's got a 68 million release clause. Excuse me. In comparison to, you know, Cunha's got 62 million. Apparently, Osimhen's one is like 50 something, and then Gyökeres another one, 58. 68 million. No one's touching Eze. I wouldn't be surprised if either A, they have to sell him for cheaper, or B, they don't end up selling him and he just stays. I don't think actually I see him even leaving. Imagine a front three of Cunha and Cherki behind Osimhen. Also with Ahmed right wing back, Bruno spraying balls in behind from midfield is actually a cheat code. You know what? I'm not being funny. If United could sign Ryan Cherki and Cunha and Osimhen, I'm happy to have Ahmed at right wing back. I'm happy to have him playing at right wing back. Ryan Cherki, I cannot believe Man United fans after the first leg against Lyon was saying he did nothing. Is this the guy that this is how guys, can I just say, yeah, this is a good telling factor of people's footballing opinions and knowledge and whatnot. Because if somebody says, oh, Ryan Cherki only scored that last-minute goal to equalize against United in the first leg, that's the only thing they took away from him in 90 minutes, then you know that they do not watch football properly. Because Ryan Cherki, what he was doing in the first leg, forget the second leg, yeah, because he absolutely cooked in the second leg. But in the first leg, up until that goal he scored, there was nothing that he did that I didn't envy and wish that United had on the other side during that game. And it was bare minimum, guys. It was the bare minimum stuff, but it was the fact that he could do it well and do it consistently across the game, and people were turning up their noses at him. I'm sorry, 25 million for... I'm not gonna lie, by the way, I also think Ryan Cherki is a luxury player. And what I mean by luxury player is I don't like hearing about defensive attributes for an attacking player. If you can press and you can run forward, that's enough for me. And I know you lot might say, Minna, that's mad, because nowadays everyone's like, oh, you defend. Marcel's always saying, oh, you defend with 11 and attack with 11. But sometimes some players, you just need to let them do what they do. And especially when they're playmakers, when you put a lot of emphasis on systems and defensive abilities, you kind of take away the kind of powers that they have in possession, because you're putting another more weight on their shoulders. And I think Ryan Cherki is one of those players. I think if he's like, I'm looking at teams and I think he could do well at Liverpool. I think if they had him in the 10 with wide players and a number 9, a focal number 9, he would cook at Liverpool. I think he would also cook at Real Madrid. I think he'd cook at Real Madrid because of his ability to break down, compact defenses, because he's good on the ball. Real Madrid have a lot of direct players and just deliveries into the box. Bellingham ain't good on the ball like Cherki is. Stay away from Cherki. Damn. Seems like people don't like him. Some other players that United are linked to on the topic of Eze, another player that has popped up in the list from Simon Jones says that Manchester United have held internal discussions over 5 players. Number 1, Victor Osimhen. Obviously, we spoke about him. Number 2, Xavi Simons. Number 3, Benjamin Sesko. Number 4, Eberechi Eze. And number 5, Anthony Semenyo. Funnily enough, guys, I met I met Eze like, I think it was like 2 years ago at the FC25 launch. I'm not moved by anyone on this list bar Victor Osimhen. I love Semenyo. By the way, guys, in the Premier League this season, outside of unfortunately being forced to watch Manchester United, I really have enjoyed watching Bournemouth. I really enjoy watching Bournemouth and I like watching Semenyo. However, 60 million is a blasphemous price tag for him. Number one. Number two, with saying that, I don't think he is what Man United need because I think he's a winger. United need to stop, unless they're going to sign him to play as a wing back, they don't need to sign a Semenyo. Like, I've seen Arsenal being potentially linked to him, and I'm like, bro, Arsenal could find better than Semenyo for that price tag, for that 50, 60 million. I think Bournemouth are trying to cash in on a lot of players that they got. I think between, Dean Howson, who's got a 50 million release clause, Kirkers, I think, got like a 30, 40 million price tag. This guy got like a 60 million price tag. They're trying to cash in on the players off of the back of a good season. But I don't think Semenyo is what Manchester United need. And additionally, with saying that, I don't think Eze is what Manchester United need. And on top of saying that, I don't think, for this price tag, I don't think Xavi Simons is what Manchester United needs. By the way, both of them Manchester United are linked to. Semenyo has the physicality and directness we lack. He does, but what does he lack? We talk about a lot what Manchester United lack. What does he lack? Because he lacks quite a bit. He lacks quite a bit. We spent 25 million on Dogu for no reason. Such a useless player. Come on, you don't have to call him useless. That's a bit harsh. That's really harsh. Z has just said something in the chat that I want to actually hear everybody's thoughts on. Get me Mbeumo. I don't know how teams are not sniffing around Mbeumo right now. I don't know how. Like, if Man United were to, wishful thinking, guys, but if United were to sign Mbeumo, Cunha, and Osimhen, I would lose it. I would gift 100 memberships on my channel. I like Mbeumo, but I don't think United are making. I don't think it should be like. I don't think we should. I'm trying to put this in the right way. Mbeumo and Cunha, I think they're both good players, so I'm happy with both. I'm actually happy with both, but I think Mbeumo is more of closer to being a world-class player than Cunha is. Is that a bad thing to say? Is that a bad thing to say? Because I think Mbeumo doesn't get his. I even think when Ivan Toney was at Brentford, I thought Mbeumo was the better player. Brentford aren't the easiest of teams. Yeah, this is what I think another thing is. But also, if I'm not wrong, let me just double check. If I'm not wrong, he's coming up. Next year is his last year of his contract. Yeah, next year is his last year of his contract. 18 goals and 6 assists in 33 appearances for a team like Brentford. I actually don't think people realize that. And they only bought him for like 5 million. So whatever they sell him for is going to be immense. It's going to be an immense profit. I swear Newcastle are linked to Mbeumo a lot. If Newcastle sign him and they keep Isaac, they will have an amazing front line. Let's just say that, because I know Newcastle need an upgrade on right wing. That is very clear. I thought maybe, had Mohamed Salah left, I thought Liverpool might look at him. But I just don't get how a lot of teams are not. Maybe a lot of teams are comfortable with their wide players, that they don't need to kind of sniff around Brentford to get a deal done for Mbeumo. But 1 year left on his contract. Proven. We're saying Cunha's proven. But Mbeumo has been consistently consistent since he's been since he's been at Brentford. He's been consistently consistent. And with Ivan Toney leaving, people, British media in particular, put Ivan Toney on a high horse when he was leaving Brentford. But I think they've comfortably been able to replace his goals through other channels. And part of that is down to Mbeumo and Wissa as well. I think Wissa's good, but Mbeumo for me is of that more luxury player. He's got the higher, he's on the higher part of the spectrum, if you want to say that, in terms of where I would rate him and Wissa. Can we at least try for Isaac? That's like me going to a flipping car dealership and saying, yeah, like Lamborghini, I'm gonna buy you soon. Like I'm gonna buy you soon. I just don't know when, but just know that I'm onto you. It's like me going to a car dealership and just touching a Lamborghini like this, saying, yeah, don't worry, man, I'm coming back for you because I'm letting you know that I want to buy you, but I just can't buy you right now. There is no way on God's green earth that Manchester United could afford to buy Isaac. I actually want, if I tell you the truth, I love Isaac, yeah, and I'm sick and tired of people saying that I look like him, because that happens so much, yeah. But I want Isaac to go to Barcelona. When eventually Lewandowski leaves, I want him to go to Barcelona, because I think that would be, it's crazy to say, but I think it would be the best front line in Europe. And I feel like a team like maybe Barcelona can have more levers to pull. I want Isaac to go to Madrid. I actually think Madrid should sell Rodrigo. I think they should sell Rodrigo, man. I don't think he's made for them. I don't think he's made for them. Big up to Samurai with the super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Samurai. I appreciate it. Says Minna, do you have an opinion on Broha Saints from Norwich? Mature winger, goal scorer with Amorim qualities. Big up the chat. No, I don't have an opinion, but I will research him. The thing is, I haven't watched that much of the EFL this season in comparison to normal years, but I will definitely research him, and then I will share my opinion with him on I will share my opinion on him on a stream one day. But thank you for bringing him to my attention. Good news, we're getting 6 figures from Burnley's promotion from Medbury. This is what football's become, guys. We're happy about that kind of stuff just because of the financial implications it has for Manchester United. On the topic of financial implications, reportedly Manchester United have a price tag for Rasmus Højlund this summer around £30 million, which is what, 37, I think, euros. I think it's about 37 million euros. People talk about book value a lot, and his book value as it stands right now is about 38 million. Are they willing to take a loss? I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't care. I just don't think Rasmus Højlund is good enough for Manchester United. And I don't want to. One thing I'll never do, guys, you lot know, it's not my monkey, not my circus, innit? You know that I'm not gonna insult and get personal, but I just don't think Rasmus Højlund is good enough for Manchester United. I think he drowns in the shirt. I saw someone posted a quote on Amorim after the game when he was talking about Rasmus Højlund and basically saying he needs to, put the ball in the back of net. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. And I think as a young player, when you come into a team like Manchester United, you, especially as a striker, guys, and this is why I'm all for Man United signing Victor Osimhen, because for me, he's, in the prime or approaching his prime time football age and experience. You, as Man United strikers, do not get the luxury of patience. Fans will not give you that. I won't give you that, because unfortunately, as a striker, your goal is to come and put the ball in the back of the net. And that's why when we signed Weghorst on loan, I don't know if you remember, but when we signed Weghorst on loan, I think the fact that Marcus Rashford was flying and scoring, Bruno was scoring, everybody could look past what Weghorst wasn't doing, which is scoring. He wasn't scoring. But a striker's job is to come in and put the ball in the back of the net. That's it. And with the fact that Xerxes is not the number 9 that we probably are looking to get or looking to have, and he's more of this 9.5 or whatever you want to call it, that weight now is on Rasmus Højlund's shoulders. And you cannot, for me, I don't care who you are, you cannot go 20, nearly 30 games without scoring as a striker. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You're telling, it's actually quite unfathomable how much I think Rasmus Højlund's, the thing is, can I just say, if United had other options, I think he would have been dropped a long time ago. If United had kept Marcus Rashford, I would have preferred to see Marcus Rashford running as the 9. That miss against Wolves, let me actually bring it up. Rasmus Højlund. Because there was a miss that I nearly flipping fell off my chair when I saw that. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm trying to find a screenshot of it. But you lot know what I'm talking about. It's the little 1-2 play with Eriksen and Garnacho. Garnacho puts the ball across the box and he completely misses it. Okay, this is probably the closest thing that I'll have to a picture. This is someone's thumbnail from YouTube. But this is what I'm referencing, guys. Look, even Eriksen can't believe it. He plays the ball across. Bro, he went into the net. Who's going to tell him that you're not meant to go into the net? The ball is meant to go into the net. I think I had already, by the way, sold my stocks in Rasmus Højlund months ago. Months ago, I said that he's not good enough to be Man United striker. And I also think he skipped a step in his development. I feel like he's definitely skipped a step coming to Manchester United. And I don't necessarily blame Manchester United per se, but I also don't put all the blame on Rasmus Højlund. I think both parties have a part to play in that. It's his positioning choices and runs. His actual finishing is actually good. Is his finishing actually good, or am I being gaslit by Thriller right now? Sorry, Thriller, I don't want to call you a gaslighter, but the reason why I'm saying that is I've seen multiple chances over the last couple of months where it's horrible strikes. Like, I think for every one good strike, there's about 12 that suck. Like, I saw him, I'm sure you guys saw when he scuffed the chance. I can't remember who it was against. He scuffed the chance so bad. I thought, this can't be real. This can't be real. So I don't mean it in a harsh way, but Manchester United have to move on from Rasmus Højlund. And if 30 million is what the price tag is, I'm sure Man United know what they can genuinely, what is the minimum they can kind of afford to sell him for. Because let's be honest, if Man United can replace Rasmus Højlund with Victor Osimhen, absolutely, I'll be happy with that. I can't believe they signed him and gave him the 11, and then gave him the 9 this season. We talk about Mason Mount having number 7. I don't think we talk about enough. How can you go from having the number 11 shirt, an iconic shirt, to then having the number 9 shirt? That's ridiculous. That's nearly as bad as Mason Mount having number 7. That's really nearly as bad as that. We need strikers that can be a focal point. We miss out on creating easy cutback chances because our strikers can't hold it and play someone in. Our striker can't hold it. Our strikers can't get in the right positions. I've seen far too many times when Rasmus Højlund should be running near post and he's running far post. And when he should run far post, he's running near post. I've seen him do it way too much. And maybe last season, Man United still had a crap season, but in the games that he did that, it worked because you had Scott McTominay as this box crashing 9. Now the other bodies that you have in the box are the wing backs, and maybe one of the 10s. That's the kind of players that you have making those late runs into the box. So if you are dragging the defenders and you got Patrick Dogu running at far post and the ball's coming central, there's no one going to be there. There is no one going to be there. So 30 million, that's a good price tag for me. If they can get that, they can get that. Even if it's 25 million, just let it happen. I think he should go back to Italy, by the way, guys. I do think he should go back to Italy. I think that should be his destination. Not because I think I rate the Italian league, by the way. I like watching the Italian league, and I do think it could be more suited to him, especially playing as a second striker to someone, and also having a lot less weight on his shoulders in comparison to maybe playing elsewhere. Now, Jadon Sancho, you lot know, man, my favorite freedom fighter after Nelson Mandela, man. My favorite freedom fighter. If I was to rank freedom fighters, 1, I would put my own freedom fighter, someone called Said Abdullah Hassan from my region, from my country, who was a freedom fighter against the British colonialists. Then I'd put Nelson Mandela. And then I would put Jadon Sancho to freedom. If Jadon Sancho ever comes back to Manchester United, guys, and he actually plays, I swear to you, I will actually buy a shirt that says Freedom 25 on the back. Pick up all the freedom fighters, man. Shout out to all the freedom fighters, man. We love freedom fighters, man. Fight for the freedom. Freedom and the fighters. Fighters, freedom, fighters. Chelsea, The Athletic, by the way, reporting that Chelsea's obligation to buy Jadon Sancho from Manchester United has been triggered, but the move is not guaranteed. Wallahi, what the hell does that mean? What does that mean? How can you really say the obligation to buy has been triggered, but the transfer is not guaranteed? So what the hell is the point of what the hell is the point of having it triggered? I think what they mean, by the way, is because they're guaranteed to not. Okay, so the part of the clause was that if they finish above 15th place, and after the weekend, it's guaranteed that they will not finish below 15th place. So automatically, the obligation is now triggered. However, with saying that, there is no guarantee that Chelsea want him, and they are actually looking at ways to send him back to Manchester United. One of them being to pay to send him back. Now, The Athletic reported that United would be owed 5 million in comparison to 25 million. They'd be owed 5 million by Chelsea if they decide against signing Jadon Sancho. And regardless of the Jadon Sancho situation, Chelsea will be looking to sign a new winger. You know, one thing about me and Chelsea got a lot in common. Chelsea like wingers. I like chicken wings. So it's not that far off. We're quite similar. We are quite similar. Chelsea like to spend unnecessary money on wingers. I like to spend unnecessary money on chicken wings because right now, guys, I'm craving Wingstop. I really wish I had a Wingstop black card. I don't know. I just went left randomly because I was thinking about ordering Wingstop before I went live, but then it was time to start the stream. And now we're talking about wingers, and it made me think about chicken. It made me think about chicken wings, which made me think about Wingstop. I really want a black card, man. I need to cold call Wingstop and ask them to give me a black card. Anyways, sorry guys, I just went on a whole irrelevant rambling. They gaslit us into believing this brother was killing it outside of United. I've watched with my eyes, can I just say, with my own two eyes, I've been to Stamford Bridge this season. I've watched with my own eyes. The thing is, right, with players, when they leave Manchester United, people are so obsessed with dunking on Manchester United that they will hype up the most mediocre players. Like, again, I think Anthony's doing good at Real Betis, but the amount of social media posts I see on places like ESPN and all these things, hyping him up, saying, oh, Real Betis are unbeaten since he's joined and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's just a dunk on United. We saw it with Jadon Sancho when he went to Dortmund. Do you remember? And they were hyping up his loan spell. I've seen it with Marcus Rashford and him at Aston Villa. People just want to dunk on Manchester United. That's it. Teams have backed out of obligations before when they haven't agreed a contract with a player, which Chelsea haven't done yet. Also, is the fact that he's on a lot of money. Like, if we look at Chelsea wages, right? I think Cole Palmer's on peanuts there, you know. Look at their most highest earning players, guys. Jadon Sancho would he'd be the most highest paid player there. Reece James, Raheem Sterling out on loan. I can't believe. I like Fofana, yeah, but I can't believe he gets paid 200k a week to be injured all the time. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. But also, these lot are on their death row contracts. Let's keep that in mind as well. So I think what Chelsea might try to do with Jadon Sancho is negotiate lower wages, but a longer contract. So that way he might make the money eventually, but it's just over a longer course of time because there's no way they're paying him 300, 350 on a death row contract. And I cannot believe Cole Palmer is only on 130 a week. Tosin Adarabioyo, he rejected Man United to go to Chelsea because Man United offered him 80k and Chelsea offered him 120k, and now Chelsea fans want him out. Like, every Chelsea fan I know hates him. So Jadon Sancho, they cover 100k of his wages, and they're probably gonna want it to be in and around that price. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall's on 80k. Guys, this is actually crazy. Nah, this is actually, I'm looking at some of these names. I'm like, bro, I've never heard these. Who are these people? What the hell? Who are these people? Are these like AI names? Because some of these names I have never seen before. Anyways, I don't care about Chelsea. Let me not focus on Chelsea too tough, because neither here or there. But I also think, yeah, Jadon Sancho has to be on the list of players. Sancho, the ever humble, self-aware mastermind of football, just a misunderstood prodigy who, in his own head, makes Pele and Maradona look like amateurs. My third favorite freedom fighter in history. In the history of freedom fighters, Jadon Sancho is definitely up there. Let's talk about Ruben Amorim, because I again, conversation. I was at Baller League yesterday, guys, and quite a few people that I saw there. Oh my god, I was sitting right next to Harry Amas, guys, right next to Harry Amas, and I'm a shy person in public, guys. I don't like to ask people for pictures, but I was sat here. My friend was sat next to me, and then a seat down was Harry Amas and his two mates. And I didn't want to I didn't want to bother him. One thing I don't like doing to people is bothering them when they're out. So like I bumped into Kukurea on Eid with my family, and the only reason why I spoke to him was because people that I was with are Chelsea fans and they were shy to ask for a picture. So I asked if they could take a picture. What's Amas doing at Baller League? I was sat in between Amas on one side and Iwobi on the other side. Did you tell Amas he did good over the weekend? I didn't even talk to him, guys. I didn't talk to him just because I'm a shy person. So I didn't even talk to Iwobi, and I was stood there whilst he was talking to my friend. I'm just a very shy person, guys. I saw Figo was standing. I was talking to my cousin, and right behind my cousin was Luis Figo just standing there by himself. And I noticed him and I got starstruck. And then my cousin said to me, if you're starstruck over Luis Figo, I can't imagine what you would do if you ever saw Paul Pogba at Baller League. But anyway, that's neither here or there. Any of my friends that I saw at Baller League, and we're talking about United, everyone is talking about Ruben Amorim. I don't think people are convinced on him. I think people are ready to have a conversation about the situation that United find themselves in. Because I'll be honest, I look at Man United sometimes and I think there is no way we have a team that should be finishing 17th in the Premier League, guys. And I get it. Some players are crap. Yeah. But am I the only person that feels like this sometimes? Let's look at the league. I don't think we have a team that you're telling me we are the fourth worst team in the league. And the other teams that are getting relegated are just slightly worse than us. I don't think that. I don't think that. Okay, I said we're 17th. I'm being a bit I'm exaggerating, but not really, because we're only 2 points off of West Ham. Thank God Spurs are bad. Wolves are level on points with us. We got Bournemouth on Sunday. I don't think we're beating Bournemouth, if I'm being honest. I don't think we'll beat Bournemouth. I hope we do, but I don't think we will, because Bournemouth have a lot of things that United lack. Bournemouth have it. But I don't think we have the worst team or this bad of a team to be in 17th place. So sometimes that's why I speak to myself in my head when I'm thinking about Man United and Amorim, and I'm like, what is it that is causing Man United to be in this position? What is it? Because is it the fact that the players are not made for the system? The system is not made for the players. The system has to be tweaked into a more rigid way that allows less creativity and less exploration because the players are not good enough. What is it that is causing Man United to win 6 in 22 or 6 in 23? Because when United have been good under Amorim, I can name a couple of games. We could talk about Liverpool game at Anfield. We were good. Arsenal in the FA Cup, I think, was good. Real Sociedad, Everton at the beginning of his tenure, that was a good game as well. Man City at the Etihad, that was a good game. So there are games that I can definitely say. But also, there is a repeat factor here with the games that I'm naming. Those are games of magnitude. So maybe the players riled themselves up and then they went back to basics in the next game. Out of the teams, who has the worst striker and goalkeeper? Do you think, yeah? All right, Leicester suck. Southampton suck. Ipswich suck too. Ipswich sucks too. But if you apply that logic, We are where we are for a reason. I totally agree. But if you apply that logic to Spurs, for example, who's a point below us, they don't have the worst goalkeeper in the league. They don't have the worst striker in the league. They've actually got a decent front line. You know, I think Solanke went like 3 months without scoring, but they've got a decent front line. So I don't think it's the same. We can't apply that logic consistently throughout the league because you know you got you know, the best striker in the league who's sitting in 4th in Newcastle. We need to stop hyping our team up for something we're not. It's okay to admit we're garbage, hella garbage. Clean the team up. Let the guy build his team. We have let the other guys who didn't have the vision. I agree. I'm totally. By the way, I'm not Amorim out. I'm not Amorim out at all. Because I think it's very harsh. Like I said, it's like me going to the kitchen. Surprise, surprise. It's like me going to the kitchen and there's ingredients in there that I didn't buy. And I want to make lasagna. But there's only ingredients there for me to make, I don't know. What can I make? Shepherd's pie or something else. So I have to cook for my guests. But I only got ingredients to make shepherd's pie. I don't even know what ingredients go in shepherd's pie. So that's a bad example. I only got ingredients to make rice. But I got lasagna. But I want to make lasagna. And lasagna is my speciality. I make a bad boy lasagna. What am I going to do? Am I going to go and buy the lasagna ingredients? Or am I going to try and make lasagna from rice? Because that's not going to work. That's the logic that I think of. Which is why I apply that to Ruben Amorim. I'm happy to have him wait to sign his players in the summer. Because also I think some of the players that United could sign, I don't think they're system based. I don't think they're like rigid to a system. Wingbacks, yes. But strikers, Cunha, you know, midfielders, you need that in your team, whether you're playing a 4-2-3-1, whether you're playing 4-3-3, whether you're playing 3-4-3. Those are players of a caliber that you will need. So I do anticipate that even if United moved on from Amorim, a lot of the players are reusable. But I also think sometimes in game, you know, there's been a couple of, you know, times, especially the second leg or against Lyon in the second half, where I was worried about what Amorim was doing. I was thinking, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? Why does my phone keep vibrating again? I thought I put it on thing. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anyone in the chat that's Amorim out? Let me know. Let me know if you want Amorim gone. Amorim can be criminal, but he seems to understand what our issues are. I like his profiling so far. Also, I like the fact that he don't shy away from taking blame, but also saying, listen, we've got to churn out these games. Like we've got to weather the storm. We've got to weather the storm, and you know, this is gonna be what is literally our reality for now. Because otherwise you're just papering over the cracks, which is true. I totally agree. United could easily find a way to paper over the craps. That too. They could paper over the craps, but they could also paper over the cracks. But what would that mean for United in the long term when it comes to, you know, Ruben Amorim and trying to implement his system and his style of play, etc., etc. What exactly would that in? Sheila says, I'm still in. The real test starts next season. I agree. I totally agree. I think the real test starts next season. But listen, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Have we hit 100 likes? Oh, we surpassed it. Big up to you guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't on your way out. We'll be live again tomorrow, inshallah, with the daily dose of Mina. We'll be live on Thursday. Should have a vlog. I'm not making any promises, guys, because like I said, it's the Football Blacklist Award on Thursday, which is to celebrate African and Caribbean contribution to the world of football. I'm winning an award for that, for a category, and it's sponsored as well by the Premier League. I will try and vlog, but no promises, because I might be too carried away with the day. But what I will do is the next day, inshallah, for the Daily Dose of Mina, I will do a stream. You know, part of the stream will be, you know, showing pictures and, you know, any videos that I have, speeches, etc. I'll try my best to show that in a stream the next day. So I apologize in advance. I have promised you guys a watch along on Saturday for the Copa del Rey, so we will do that as well. And then obviously content for Manchester United off the back of the Bournemouth game on Sunday. So we've got a lot of content coming, guys. So make sure you strap in. Make sure you turn on your post notifications. So when I do post or I do go live, you get notified, because sometimes YouTube's moving a bit mad. But listen, guys, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Cunha to Manchester United. Hopefully we can get that done before the season actually ends. Hit the like button on your way out, guys. I'm out. Have a great one. Peace.